When a police chief doesn't want you to look at police body cam videos, then you know you need to look beyond the lies and see the facts for yourself. From the very beginning, many of our so-called leaders misspoke and misjudged what was necessary to keep the peace and let justice truly prevail following the arrest and heart attack of George Floyd.
I can't choke. I can't breathe.
Police body cam videos were withheld. Lawyers engaged in lawfare. And riots, protests, and politics made any hope of a fair and impartial trial for the 4 accused officers nothing more than an impossibility. Even now, even after a defamation lawsuit filed by the assistant chief of the Minneapolis Police Department has been dismissed, police leaders, politicians, and the media are still warning all of us about trying to rewrite history by telling the facts. But we believe the facts should always speak for themselves.
I'd like to show you what's been received as Exhibit 17. Is this a trained technique that's by the Minneapolis Police Department when you were overseeing the training unit?
It is not.
And how does this differ?
I don't know what kind of improvised position that is. So that's not what we train.
All right.
Yeah.
As you reflect on Exhibit 17, I must ask you, is this a trained Minneapolis Police Department defensive tactics technique?
It is not.
When I heard that part of the testimony, I really wanted to get up off my chair and yell, "Bullshit."
Your police chief said on the stand that he didn't recognize that technique.
I heard him say that. It's tough to hear people lie, just straight lie. And again, goes right back to, for me, the good and the bad, like the right and the wrong. And for you to be under oath and just straight lie.
You think that's cool though, right? What's your badge number, bro? You think that's cool right now, bro? Bro, what is you, 1087, bro? You're a bum, bro, or 987, bro? You're a bum.
How's your name tag, bitch?
I'll try and get that. 987, you're a bum, bro.
I'm appalled at the repetitive behavior of this coward and disgusted by the inaction and acceptance of the behavior by members of this agency. Such conduct is a disgrace to this badge and an embarrassment to what is truly a noble profession. It's not enough to condemn the actions and failures of the past. These examples show evidence of a systemic failure and a department's culture that totally lacked the ability to hold itself accountable to professional standards. The Minneapolis Police has a tradition to recycle the badge numbers that are no longer assigned to a current officer. This badge betrayed and so egregiously dishonored will be destroyed, and the badge number permanently removed from our rosters so that no future Minneapolis police officer should have to wear it.
I wanted to ask you about, you've written a couple of op-eds in the last few months. Most recently, there was one where you very specifically called out Alpha News and Liz Collin, a reporter there, accusing them of rewriting history. I'm curious what made you want to put yourself out there and write that?
Well, I'm the police chief, and when people come after any of my police officers inappropriately, it's my job to stand up for them. I've got nothing against Liz Collin. I've read her book. I've seen her documentary. I think she raises a lot of valuable, relevant points. At the same time, it's no surprise that there may have been discrepancies with the case, because no case is perfect, but it simply goes too far.
So the response after that from their attorney says, you know, we actually have photographs to prove that the sort of knee on neck tactic was part of the training of MPD. They have 34 sworn declarations from MPD officers. So how would you respond to that?
But that's not what we're talking about.
As you reflect on Exhibit 17, I must ask you, is this a trained Minneapolis Police Department defensive tactics technique?
It is not.
I don't know what kind of improvised position that is. So that's not what we train.
I know you're aware then of the testimony that took place in Derek Chauvin's trial specifically. When you heard all of these colleagues of yours, you know, people who are your superiors, say that they were not trained or did not recognize the maximal restraint technique, what did you think about that testimony?
I know that I was trained in it. It was a huge thing that we did, and where the head goes, the body follows. We always would say that, and that was part of our testimony. We did it over and over and over for years. And to hear like the chief say it when how long was he even around at that time, you know? And Katie, you know, I knew Katie. She was our CSO on SWAT when she just started, so I knew her from the beginning of her career. And when she said that, I'm like, how can you say that? I mean, this is what we all did. We were trained in it over and over and over, and I'd done that technique numerous times, both in training and on the street.
Why did you then want to speak up and speak out?
It has to do with kind of everything going on. I'm just, you know, the world's a great place. The United States is a great place to live in, and when you have so many things going on like this, that, hey, listen, you got to give the good people the benefit of the doubt also, like you do the criminals all the time. And when you come in and you say something that is completely untrue, for whatever reason, that's what I can't figure out. Why would you say that? You know, I mean, are you trying to save the city some money? We did this. So we trained this. So, hey, this is the truth.
The Attorney General of Minnesota, the Governor of Minnesota, the Mayor of Minneapolis, even your former police chief, make this all about race. Do you think race played a role at all in the death of George Floyd?
Zero. That has nothing, race has nothing to do with it. And you can go back and look at all of it. They never, I don't know if they even say it. It's just, they want to put it on race, and I think it was an agenda that's been coming.
What do you think is the most significant thing in all of this?
If you think about this set of facts, I think the most significant thing about it And the most racist thing about it was calling it racist in the first place. And I think we saw this interjected early on. We were talking about the Facebook viral video. There's a bystander, or let me play along with the mainstream media version for a second. You had a bystander who was black speaking to Derek Chauvin, Officer Chauvin, who is white, working alongside Officer King, who is black, and you had Officer Tou, who is Asian American, in between them. And you have this bystander saying something like, there's Officer Chauvin looking scared of minorities.
Bro, you're a fuck. First thing you want to grab is your mace because you're scared, bro. Scared of fucking minorities.
In that brief exchange is something probably that's the most significant thing here. And that is, it's not racism. It's the use of racism as a label, as a means of manipulation. And I think that's the biggest problem we're dealing with here.
In this case, you have pages of the manual that go missing. You have the body camera withheld from the public for months. Do you think if they would have just come out and told the truth about everything from the beginning, we'd even be here?
Absolutely not. You know, I mean, unfortunately, some public and some people are going to make their own decision. And they're going to probably still, it doesn't matter how much evidence you give them. But if that all comes out, no. I mean, the things would not happen in the way. That 100% of all that evidence is the autopsy. Some people are, oh, I don't care about the autopsy. Well, how can you not care about the autopsy? It's all part of the evidence of the whole case. You bring all that out, lay it all on the table, let everybody look at it. And no, we're not going to be here.
So the truth really mattered here and they didn't tell it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, just the way this country is going, it just makes me so sad that I don't know if it's ever going to change.
You were saying your wife is the one that said something was going on, but you sort of knew about it.
Right. She had woke me up early that morning. I had worked late into the night, and she brought in the video that was being disseminated by the media and utilized by the department as well at that point, showing what had transpired that night from a very limited optic of what really happened out there. And I looked at the video, and the video that was that I watched looked bad.
But yet you knew there was more to this, and you figured that would come out quickly.
Absolutely. I knew that hopefully that, you know, other angles and other recordings were going to surface like they always do and always have, and that the truth would actually be told of what took place out there and not the messages that we were receiving by the media and hearing over social media.
Was there a moment for you, Ken, that you realized that wasn't going to happen here?
It was, I don't know what the word is I want to use. It was shocking, I guess, that we weren't getting more of that picture, not even internally. We just didn't hear or see anything more than what was being put out there by the media.
In a way, do you think that's what led to the riots?
There's no question in my mind. I think that video was the fuel that drove the anger and the narratives that were coming out from activist groups and from the media and from our own politicians and our own police chief at that point.
Did you feel betrayed in a way?
Yeah. Betrayal is one of many words, or one of many descriptive things I think that myself and all of the cops that dealt with that during the riots and you know, that came in from outstate and came in to kind of assist us in that deal. With all the evidence that's out there that contradicts the narrative and the message that the politicians and the media and our own police administration was putting out there, it makes me sick.
So then it's October 2024. Katie Blackwell files a lawsuit against me claiming I defamed her in the fall of Minneapolis by using her testimony in the documentary. You were among dozens of current and former officers that came forward who offered a sworn declaration about her testimony, but why did you want to speak up and speak out?
You know, watching the trial, knowing some of what had actually transpired by that time once the trial came out, knowing the actions of the officers, when the verdict came out, I think it just gutted us as a profession. I sat and watched those trials, and with the testimony of people like Chief Arredondo, I think then Commander Katie Blackwell, Lieutenant Zimmerman, Lieutenant Johnny Murcell, that sat on the stand and in my opinion, lied to the public about what transpired and about what training we'd had, made me angry and made me sick. And when I saw your case come up, it was outrageous. It was outrageous to me that Katie Blackwell would try to play the victim in any of this and create a lawsuit against you for the work that you had done. And to me, that was an offense to all of us, to the cops that endured that and worked those streets and worked the riots during all of that. She perjured herself on the stand, and there's no question in my mind that she did so knowingly. There's just no way that with the training that we'd all received extensively over years and years and years, and those exact techniques that we all used and were trained in, that she used and was trained in, that she'd sit on a stand and lie under oath. And she, Arredondo, Zimmerman, all of them broke their oath. They broke the oath that they took as police officers. They broke the oath that they took when they got on the stand that day and held up their hand on a Bible and said that they would tell the truth. They broke it. And that made me angry.
Hi there, I'm looking to speak with Mayor Jacob Fry, please.
And you are?
My name is Liz Collin.
Okay. And what did you want to speak to him about?
You know, I'm a reporter and I have a few questions I've been trying to get answered for several years now, but there's been some recent developments I'd like to ask him about.
Okay. Just 1 second. Just have to speak. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Ms. Collins. I'm sorry for the delay, but I checked with staff and they're in a meeting right now. I was told that he is booked out for the rest of the day. You're more than welcome to fill out requests.
Yeah, he doesn't get back to me. So the mayor is booked for the rest of the day and doesn't have time to answer just a few questions from a reporter. Is that right?
He is booked for today. That unfortunately will not be able to meet with you.
I just need to ask him about these lies that have been told and repeated for years. You think he would want to set the record straight? We want his side.
I know you have questions for him, and I be able to help you, but I can pass along that. I can pass along to staff that you're here and you have a couple of questions, and I'm sure they have your contact.
Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and wait here because it does sound like he's there and just avoiding me as usual. So we'll go ahead and just.
He is not in the building with Colin. I can assure you that.
Did he just leave?
I said he left before you arrived.
Okay. Well, I expect he'll be back here today, so we'll just go ahead and wait. Thank you.
Hi, Katie. Hi, how are you? How you doing? Fine. Yeah, actually, I have a few questions for you. Are you aware that 14 former and current Minneapolis police officers say you lied during Derek Chauvin's trial according to yourself? What's the truth here? I'd like to talk to you about the lawsuit you filed against myself and Elton Hicks. 34 police officers have come forward to say that MRT wasn't trained by Minneapolis Police Department. I've been trying to get in touch with you. You obviously declined my interview request. Don't you think people deserve the truth?
The world is run by those who show up and do hard work. Time and time again, Liz Collin has shown up, done the hard work, and she's done it with grace, with honor, with integrity, and with courage. Katie Blackwell didn't even show up to court today. That should show you exactly who Katie Blackwell is and how strong she thinks her case is. Thanks.
Also, over the last 5 years, there's been a little bit of revisionist history or telling the story a different way.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Absolutely. And that is what we have to guard against. We cannot erase and revise history for our own feelings. We cannot do that. And
You know, one would think that the commander in charge of the training unit, who is supposed to be supervising and overseeing all training operations delivered by training personnel from the Minneapolis Police Department, that she would know darn well what training is delivered and what isn't.
What did you think of her testimony, Derek?
Oh, it's all right, perjury.